All right, today we're going to do Unit 1, Lesson 4, Equilateral Triangle Notes. So a triangle with three sides that are the same length makes it equilateral. Anything equilateral means the sides are the same length. So let's do two definitions I needed to mention before. A radius is a line that goes from the center of a circle to the edge of a circle. A diameter is a line that goes from one edge to the other edge of a circle and goes through the center, and it's the length of two radiuses. Okay, so we're going to make the shape that we did in class just recently, and we're going to try to create an equilateral triangle. So starting with one point here, I'm going to draw a circle. Okay, and then from some other point, I'm going to draw another circle with the same radius. And so it has the same radius, and the edge of the radius goes through the point that was the center of the other one. And at this intersection, I'm going to draw another circle, and because these all have the same radiuses, the edge of this circle should be going through the center of the other circles. Now at this intersection here, I'm going to draw another one. Okay, and I'm going to put a dot at that intersection, and we're going to keep going around. I'm going to put a dot at this intersection. And then two finalized circles. And we're almost done. Okay, so we're going to try to identify some equilateral triangles, and I can already see one of them. So as I mentioned, all the radius of all these circles are the same. So if I connect these three dots together, these all have the length of the same radius, so there is an equilateral triangle. And one thing that is important to know, if I just draw it freehand, but I intended all the sides to be the same length, I would put a single mark on each side. This indicates that I intended to draw it with all three sides the same length. There's more than one equilateral triangle. Here's another one. I can make a bigger equilateral triangle. Right? Because this is the diameter, that's the diameter, and this is the diameter. So another thing is, if I have another equilateral triangle, now this orange triangle is much bigger than the other one, I could identify that these sides are all the same by putting two marks on each side, but this identifies that this triangle is not the same size as this one, but these both are marked as equilateral triangles. Let's move on. And if you need to pause and take time to draw this, please hit pause and play as you need to. So if I connect so here's the same drawing. If I connect all of these dots right here, I can create a hexagon. A hexagon, by definition, has 6 sides. Okay, so there are 6 sides on this shape, so it is a hexagon. Now, since this is made with a radius, all 6 sides have the same length, so we can call it an equilateral hexagon. Okay, there's some other shapes that we can see here. I can make an isosceles triangle. If I go connect 3 dots here, so here I have an isosceles triangle. Now, one thing to denote that it's isosceles is that I could put a mark on 2 sides, which means 2 sides have the same length. Okay? Now, we can also find a trapezoid. A trapezoid is a side that has 2 parallel sides and and if it's isosceles, we can have 2 sides that are the same length. So where is the trapezoid here? I can find one right here. There's a trapezoid. There is also another trapezoid in there. I'll let you find that yourself. Okay. What else? There's a parallelogram. The word parallel kind of gives it away. Opposite sides have the same length. So we're going to find one that's like this, where the opposite sides have the same length. Here we go. Here's a parallelogram. Okay, there are quite a few different parallelograms on this shape, and to denote that the opposite sides have the same length, I've put the same type of mark on opposite sides. This side is the same length as this one's the same length as that one. Now, a very special kind of parallelogram is called a rhombus. So if you have a rhombus, then that means there are 4 sides that are all the same length. So in purple, I just drew a rhombus, and if 4 sides are the same length and they're parallel, I could mark it with the same kind of mark on each side. And a final definition we're going to talk about is the word inscribed. So inscribed means when you have a shape that is inside a circle, and that makes it inscribed. Please replay this and hit pause in order to get all the notes carefully into your binder.